All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time, peoples of all ages. It's finally time to see the newest character for Borderlands. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Yo, peoples, key. I knew it was coming. There we go. Yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here. Welcome back to yet another deep dive for Borderlands 4. Now, the last time I did a deep dive, it was a very long session where we went through everything that had to do with Vex, Harlow, Rafa, and Amon. Today, we only have one character to go over, and it's the newest character that is dropping next week, Cash the Rogue. So not only do we have an official gameplay overview for Cash, which we're going to check out in this video now, but we also have an entire spotlight page that will have us go through everything that Cash can do. Now, mind you, I tried playing the video here, but it wouldn't because, age restricted and only available on YouTube, but at least I had the full page here. So, let's go ahead and see what Cash can do. And I was about to play this without you guys being able to hear the audio either. Hybrid, it is good to see you. Let's get started. Let's see.
Nothing to fear. The game is not over. It has only just begun.
Right here. Let me stop. There were so many people over on the Borderlands Discord server that were complaining and saying, like, I don't like his voice. His voice doesn't sound robotic. I said that maybe they don't have the filter over his voice for the trailer for the Mad Ellie DLC because his voice didn't have a filter over it. And they're saying, well, Flack had a robotic voice, so it should be the same thing. And I'm like, maybe they don't have it over, maybe they didn't have the filter over his voice during the Mad Ellie DLC trailer. And here we have it. His voice doesn't sound, completely human. It is actually robotic. I told them.
Nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. The game is not over. It has only just begun.
I like his voice. Crossfire? This dude got... Claro, man? Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay. So his gun skill is crossfire, high stakes, high caliber. He's got full-on dodges.
I do my best work in the space between.
And then Claromancy, roll the dice. Roll the dice? I'm sorry? What?
Surrender, interloper. Has something up your sleeve? I certainly do.
I love his accent. And sleight of hand, check your pockets.
Got something for you.
What? What is this skill?
Almost. Steeping with power.
Ooh.
Just die. You are out of luck, my friend.
I love his voice. His voice is... Now, mind you, I liked his voice before they put the filter over it. But adding the filter just made his voice even more awesome. No, we gotta go over that whole trailer again. Because it was just... He's gonna be my new favorite character.
Nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. The game is not over. It has only just begun.
Uh-huh. Is that aimbot? He literally has auto lock. A reticle is on all the enemies he shoots. Nisha's dual wielding skill is back, and it's for Cash. What? Crossfire. Oh, y'all, man. I can't wait to read through his skills and everything he can do. But look at that. There's no other character in this game that gets like a lock on. Wait, hold on. Let me think about that. No, Rafa's Peacebreaker cannons, they auto-lock, but they don't have a reticle. They just do it automatically. Vex doesn't have one. He definitely gives me Cajun vibes. That's what I'm saying. It's like, Brother Bayou out of the bayou. I'll do my best to help you out. But I'm gonna need you to pick a card. Like something like that. Like something with his voice is like, the game is over. The game is not over. It is only just begun. It's just, it's his inflection in his voice. It's just the way he enunciates, the accent. It is the accent that sells it. I need to know who's voicing him. Because, yeah, this is peak voice casting for a Vault Hunter character. You got Ray Chase, aka Sukuna, Ryomen Sukuna from Jujutsu Kaisen, being Amon, but Cash, I think I like his voice above everyone else's. Yeah, I think I like his voice over every other Vault Hunter's voice. And of course, Alejandro Sabe, he's in there as well, but I put it Cash, Vex, Amon, Rafa, and then Harlow in terms of which voice I like the most. But Crossfire, you're auto-targeting here. The dude literally has a teleport to the side.
Good luck dodging this! I do my best work in the space between hope, luck, and talent. Surrender, interloper! Have something up your sleeve? I certainly do. Big money!
Claromancy, rolling dice, and then sleight of hand, just throwing cards at who knows what all they do.
Almost feel bad. Almost. Steeping with power. Just die.
Dude doesn't even move when he gets shot at. Look at him. He's all like,
Die.
that's what the young people call aura farming. This dude stands there. Here's the thing. You are at maximum aura if you are standing there and you're not even directly looking at a person. You got your head tilted down, so you're not even paying attention to the fact that someone's even aiming at you. And even when the shot fires, you don't move at all. It's just like, oh, this dude is so cool.
Just die. You are out of luck, my friend.
Yeah, he's my new favorite. He's my new favorite. I love this guy. This guy is awesome. Okay, so let me see what people have been saying. Let's see, I would have gone with the wild card, but still he looks cool. Very glad to see he has an actual robotic filter that he seemed to be missing in the DLC trailer. See, I tried to tell people this, that it probably wasn't in the Mad Ellie DLC trailer, but it's all like, no, his voice is lame because it doesn't have a robotic filter. And I'm like, give it time. Just give it time. Let's see, bro, he's perfect, coolest Vault Hunter in series yet, him or Flack? Nah, I gotta go with Cash being the coolest Vault Hunter in all of Borderlands. And I'm saying this before we even go into his skills and what makes him him. Basically Gambit from the X-Men, but with guns added. Still cool. Dude, yes, this looks so fire. I'm happy he seems more energetic than menacing. The vibes are vibing with this one. Lady Luck has a new favorite. Nice, I didn't expect him to have such a lively voice. They cooked with this. Yeah, third-person pistol using. Oh, I'm about to... I thought he'd sound like a cowboy, but this will do. Just because he has a cowboy hat doesn't mean he has to actually be like Southern, like, it's high noon. I can bring you in warm or I can bring you in cold. I'm glad they went this way. I'm glad they gave him like a Cajun feel, like this Creole feel to his voice. So now that that's done, I'm gonna leave a like, and let's see. Yeah, coolest Vault Hunter in all of Borderlands, and my new main, Sorry Vex. That's me. Now, it's time to get to the juices. Cash Spotlight gameplay overview and skill tree reveal. Get to know Cash the Rogue, the new Vault Hunter included with the Story Pack 1. Bend fortune to your favor when Cash the Rogue, an all-new Vault Hunter, is available as part of Story Pack 1, Mad Alien Vault of the, starting March 26. If you're a fan of action skills that unleash killer surprises, Cash's distinctly variable kit lets you go for broke and overcome the odds in any firefight. Cash's 3 action skills are always powerful at a baseline, but 2 of them have a chance to be even better suited for situations when luck is on your side. So we already seen the video. Watch the Cash gameplay overview video above to see the trinket-adorned casino bot rip through opposition using the proverbial aces up his sleeve. Need some water. Including spell-slinging cards from his mystical deck of Kanansi, dual-wielded revolvers, and eldritch totems summoned by the rolls of enchanted bone dice. Oh, this dude is cool. This dude is going to be awesome. As the first of 2 new Vault Hunters coming to Borderlands 4 via paid story packs, Cash is playable across the entire game. Good. I can't wait to go through the entire story with Cash and then just see how I build him up as I get to the Timekeeper. You can experience everything on Kairos using his unique set of skills or dive right into the new Story Pack 1 content via a new menu option, which fast-forwards any fresh Vault Hunter to the new Whispering Glacier map zone at level 13. Get insights into Cash's creation with this blog post from senior character designer Tommy Westerman, where he outlines the design philosophy behind Cash's action skills and the ways unpredictable outcomes fuel the power fantasy of his rogue class. Cash is just one element of Story Pack 1's wide variety of added content, including new story missions, new map zone, the Whispering Glacier, new loot, and more, which you can read here. Now, this will just talk to news about the Story Pack 1, but we're focusing on Cash. Cash the Rogue's trait and action skills. Be sure to check out the full rundown of Cash's abilities and 3 skill trees on the Cash Vault Hunter page nested within the game info. So, we got Cash over there. We're going to continue reading through this whole article to basically learn more about him. And then we'll move on to his skills to see exactly how I intend to build him. Cash's trait Windfall can enhance his action skills further, amping up the excitement of pressing your luck during battle for big payoffs. Cash gains fortune stacks when he kills an enemy, and has a chance to enter Windfall every time he automatically reloads his gun after expending all ammo or using an action skill. Windfall consumes all stacks of fortune for increased skill damage and gun damage, and upgrades his action skills while Windfall is active. He's got a stack mechanic and it can upgrade his action skills. While Windfall is active, fortune skills act as if Cash has max stacks of fortune. Here's a high-level overview of the core action skills that Cash uses to deal death. Crossfire. When the stakes call for a sure shot, holster your current weapon and brandish Cash's dual revolvers to unleash a hail of bullets from a third-person perspective, akin to Rafa's Arc Knives action skill. During Crossfire, you can trigger secondary effects like a melee knockdown and a targeted lock-on. During Windfall, the dual revolvers shots have a chance to ricochet? Oh my goodness! His dual pistols have a chance for ricochet while you use it? Stop! Sleight of hand. Pick a card, any card. They'll all make quick work of targets with their deadly magic. When activated, Cash draws cards in each hand, so you quickly toss out a volley of spells like Fireball or Magic Missile. This literally, okay, someone took some things from Tiny Tina's Wonderlands and added it to Cash's cards. With more available via augments. Just remember, adding more card types to your deck makes your draws more random. See, this is what reminds me of Claptrap's subroutines from the pre-sequel. Whereas here, it feels a bit more controlled. At least the way it's sounding, it's not like it's completely random and it's going to be stuff that debuffs you. But then again, we still haven't seen his skills yet, so let's continue. During Windfall, each card has greatly increased effects. I feel like they really cooked with this character, just from reading this description now. Claromancy. Cast your lot by rolling supernatural bone dice, which summon a bone totem with unique effects based on the roll results. Depending on which bone totem warps in, it might generate buffing effects or deal damage like a turret. Some totems are stationary, others seek out allies and enemies. During Windfall, dice rolls always result in a unique roll. Interesting. Cash's 3 skill trees, Chaos Walking, Luck of the Draw, and Roll the Bones, lend themselves to all kinds of build crafting. A big difference compared to Borderlands 4's other Vault Hunters is that Cash doesn't have capstone abilities. What? Instead, all 3 trees offers the Devil's Tines passive that grants Cash an additional augment slot, meaning you can build Cash to have 4 total augments at the same time. I'm sorry, what? All 3 trees offer the Devil's Tines passive that grants Cash an additional augment slot, meaning you can build Cash to have 4... What? 4 augments at the same time? Active at the same time? What? Once you've perused Cash's skill trees and considered all the augments you can mix and match, your mind may start to... It's already swirling. What do you mean? It may start to swirl with tantalizing possibilities the same way a gambler dreams of hitting the next jackpot. Crossfire with burning incendiary rounds and volleys of rockets. Sleight of hand decks with cards that summon black holes, freeze enemies solid, or spray corrosive acid. I'm sorry, the cards can create black holes? I beg your finest pardon? Claromancy rolls summon bone totems that call down chain lightning, spawn eldritch bullets, or protect your allies with overshield. And there's another image here. I want to refresh it so that way we can see it. There. Okay, yes. You can take luck into your own hands as Cash the Rogue when Story Pack Mad Ellie in the Vault of the Darned launches on March 26th. Here's a breakdown of the different ways to acquire it. Okay, so we know how to acquire it. Okay. Oh, no. Okay. It's time to look at Cash. Cash overview. We already seen this video. Cash is a casino bot with a new leash on life. After winning a high-stakes card game, he gained a magical deck that imbues him with eldritch boons. This would be a cursed trophy for most people, but for a robot who has been able to game the solar system's casinos and battlefields with statistical knowledge, he finally knows what unpredictability feels like. For the first time, he feels human. This drives him to play nothing safe, always bet on himself, and take as many risks as possible. And this is a brand new portion. Sorry, Amon, I'm about to have a new secondary character. Hybrid. I'm about to have a new main. My Amon is already like level 42, about to be, I think, level 43. Yeah, level 43. And then Rafa is in the 20s. But Cash is going to be my brand new main. I love Vex. I love playing Sirens, but Cash. I'm sorry, but it's going to be Cash. With a knack for doling out damage and racking up kills in quick succession, Cash always has an edge no matter the odds. If you feel lucky, pick a card that comes with a random spell of destruction using Sleight of Hand, or cast your lot with Cleromancy to summon a bone totem with effects based on the resulting dice roll. When dangerous situations call for a sure shot, Cash will gladly brandish his dual revolvers and unleash a hail of bullets with Crossfire. So, so here's the thing. 3 distinct action skills are available to each Vault Hunter, but only one can be equipped at a time. Note that the augments in Cash's skill trees must be equipped into your loadout to gain their effects. Every Vault Hunter has 3 skill trees, each stemming from an action skill. You'll need to invest 5 of the skill points you get from leveling up into a given row to unlock access to the next row. Once you invested 15 total points into a skill tree, you'll have access to 3 branches for that tree. Augments are enhancements that provide secondary bonuses to your action skills. Cash is unique in that he doesn't have capstone abilities at the bottom of his skill trees. Instead, all 3 trees offer the Devil's Times passive that grants Cash an additional augment slot, meaning you can build Cash to have 4 total augments at the same time. You can use action skills from other trees even if you haven't invested any points into them, but you won't be able to equip the powerful augments from one tree into the action skill of a different skill tree. Committing skill points to the skill tree that will properly synergize with your favorite action skill is key. Note that all skill names, descriptions, and numbers listed below are subject to change. Vault Hunters aren't exactly known for being predictable. So, we've seen that before. Cash, it's time to learn! Yo, Anime Gamer, it's good to see you. Cash abilities breakdown. Rogue Vault Hunter trait, Windfall. Cash gains fortune stacks when he kills an enemy, and has a chance to enter Windfall every time he automatically reloads his gun after expending all ammo or using an action skill. Windfall consumes all stacks of fortune for increased skill damage and gun damage, and upgrades his action skills while Windfall is active. While Windfall is active, fortune skills act as if Cash has max stacks of fortune. So, let's start with the first one. Crossfire. Chaos Walking. Listen to that name. Just listen to that name. We're not playing any video, so I don't need desktop audio on. Listen to that name. Chaos Walking. Cash puts away his guns and equips his dual revolvers. While equipped, he automatically fires these weapons, dealing kinetic gun damage to enemies under his crosshairs. While Windfall is active, his dual revolvers gain Ricochet Chance. Holding action skill causes Crossfire to end early and refund a portion of the action skill cooldown. Press and hold fire during Crossfire to activate Burst Fire, increasing Cash's fire rate and causing Crossfire's duration to drain more quickly. Press and hold aim during Crossfire to toggle lock on to target enemy. So you can lock on. I was thinking, oh, I hope it's not like a perk we need to turn on in order to have locking on. But no, if you hit the button to aim, you'll automatically lock on to the nearest enemy. And here's the thing. He will automatically start firing as soon as you start this action skill. So it's not like you can bring the guns out and then shoot him whenever you want. He'll automatically start firing. So that's a departure from Nisha from the pre-sequel, because you can fire whenever you want. You just had aimbot. Nisha had aimbot, but you could fire whenever you want. Cash still has aimbot, but you need to aim. You need to hold down the aim button to do it, and he just fires automatically. Press melee during Crossfire to perform a melee attack that knocks Cash and his target back. So, this is his Crossfire Chaos Walking skill tree. Chaos Walking. Look at this. Look at this. No, he has no capstones. No capstones whatsoever. And this is what his tree looks like. Ooh, this looks nice. Let's begin. Unleashed. Passive, 5 points. Cash gains increased fire rate with guns and action skills. Your Huckleberry. I knew there was going to be a Tombstone or Western reference in here. I knew it. Your Huckleberry. Passive, 5 points. Cash gains increased critical hit damage. The Determinator. Passive, 5 points. Cash gains health regeneration. The faster he's moving, the more health regeneration he gains. And since there's a specialization skill in the game that allows you to keep increasing your movement speed, I think these two will go hand in hand if people build in that direction. Hard Boiled. Passive, 5 points. Fortune skill. Whenever Cash gains a stack of fortune, he restores his action skill duration with diminishing returns. But here's the thing though. Rafa has diminishing returns when he's using his Peacebreaker cannons. However, the way I have Rafa built, and he's only up to level 20, it is easy to keep those Peacebreaker cannons out. So the diminishing returns isn't like, oh, it just gets smaller and smaller until it's impossible for you to keep your skills up. No, you can keep this skill up. If you kill an enemies, the diminishing returns isn't actually that diminishing. Hard-boiled. Ooh. Oh, yep, this is a Tombstone reference. And hell followed with him. Augment. Press fire during crossfire to attempt windfall and spend all fortune stacks to deal bonus incendiary damage for the remainder of the action skill duration. This effect stacks every time it's activated. Ooh. Shootist. Passive, 5 points. Cash gains increased gun damage. Midnight Showdown. Cash gains increased movement speed while crossfire is active. Dash Override. Cash shadow steps, granting him increased fire rate and causes his shots to ricochet for a duration. While Windfall is active, ricochets split into 2 bullets. I beg your pardon? See, when it comes to ricochets in Borderlands now, it is literally just the one bullet hitting a person. It is literally just the one bullet. And then it ricochets and hits another, but it's still one bullet. This augment makes it so that the bullet splits into 2, meaning if it continues to ricochet, you are covering way more criticals and way more people with this. Stand and Bleed. Passive. Cash gains a chance to critically hit with his action skills and guns. Let's see. Hot Hand. Passive. 5 points. Cash deals bonus incendiary damage. The higher his fire rate, the greater the bonus. Trick Shot. Passive. 3 points. Fortune Skill. Cash gains ricochet chance with his guns. Shots that ricochet this way are turned into bone shards. When bone shards damage an enemy, they create bone splinters that converge around them, dealing kinetic damage. He has damage over time. He has his own personal damage over time. You know how Vex has bleed? Cash has bone splinters. He has bone shards. They create bone splinters that converge around them, dealing kinetic damage. Enemies damaged by bone shards take increased damage from all sources. The more fortune stacks Cash has, the greater the chance. And then, of course, the big passive that they talked about, Devil's Tines. Passive, 1 point. Cash gains an additional augment slot. So, think about having Midnight Showdown for 1. I don't know if I'm going to have it Hell Followed with him. I don't know if I'm going to have that. But Midnight Showdown, that would definitely be help with ricochets. I feel like Cash has way more skills related to ricochet than anybody else. More than Rafa even. And Rafa has some skills that's dedicated to ricochet. Next passive, Ride to Ruin. Kill skill. Whenever Cash kills an enemy while his action skill is active, begin accumulating Ride to Ruin stacks. When his action skill ends, refund action skill cooldown equal to the amount of Ride to Ruin stacks he has. Oh, I might need to get this skill. But then again, I did say I was going to go down the sleight of hand tree. Because the guns are cool, but the sleight of hand cards, yeah, I want that. So, but some of these are good. And also remember, we're going to be getting level cap increases. So it's not like we're going to be permanently locked out of some of these skills later on. A Blur of Fingers. Oh, wait. Ride to Ruin is just one passive. A Blur of Fingers and Brass. Passive, 5 points. Whenever Cash gains a stack of fortune, he gains increased reload speed and fire rate with his guns and action skills. This effect stacks. And that's the starting tree. Now we go to branch 1. Brimstone. Passive, 5 points. Cash gains increased reload speed. Cash's fire rate now benefits from increases to reload speed. And then the next augment, Show Your Marrow. Crossfire gains increased fire rate. Cash's dual revolvers gain a chance to shoot kinetic bone shards that create bone splinters around the impacted enemy and converge around them, dealing kinetic damage. Enemies damaged by bone shards take increased damage from all sources. So not only can you have, where is it? Trick shot. Where if your gun ricochets, they get turned into bone shards. That's just a passive for your regular guns. Now your dual revolvers will get that same chance as well, while during the action skill itself. Reload override. Press reload to make Cash sacrifice a portion of his health to gain increased fire rate and increased kinetic bone shard chance for a duration. This effect stacks. Next, Fast Cash. Passive, 5 points. Fortune skill. Cash gains increased movement speed. The more fortune stacks Cash has, the greater the bonus. Oh, is Cash trying to be faster than Rafa? Because Rafa has some movement speed skills related to him that makes him incredibly fast. So I wonder if this is the same for Cash too. And also remember, he has the regeneration skill that makes it so that the faster he's moving, the more he regenerates. So if you have the Determinator along with Fast Cash, they both benefit from each other, along with the specialization skill that increases your movement speed overall. Firestorm. Passive, 5 points. Cash deals bonus incendiary damage with his guns. The faster he's moving, the greater the bonus. There's a lot of bonuses from you just moving fast. Burn the house down. Passive, 3 points. Whenever Cash loses fortune stacks, lob fire mortars at nearby enemies that deal damage based on the fortune stacks lost. Just free Molotovs? Just free fire bombs when you lose stacks? High Noon. I knew it. Okay, this goes without saying, but this was the most predictable skill name for Cash. High Noon. Passive, 5 points. Also, burn the house down, 3 points. I think I said that already. High Noon, passive, 5 points. Fortune skill. Whenever Cash deals gun damage, he gains a chance to create a fire nova. The more fortune stacks Cash has, the greater the bonus. Blood-stained Moon, passive, 1. Whenever Cash critically hits an enemy, he gains increased elemental effect chance, elemental effect damage, and elemental damage. Fortune skill. Whenever Cash kills an enemy with a critical hit, lob fire mortars at nearby enemies. The more fortune stacks Cash has, the greater the damage. When you kill an enemy with a critical hit, automatic fire mortars. I like this. I like this. This is just one skill tree, and this is just one branch. And then the last augment for branch 1, Slick Thunder. After sliding during crossfire, Cash gains damage reduction and increased movement speed for a duration, and his guns have a chance to arc lightning to nearby enemies. If Windfall is active, gain increased arc lightning chance? Stop. You're making him too cool. And this is just one skill tree. Branch 2, Lawless. Passive, 5 points. Cash deals increased kinetic damage. Desperado, augment. While Windfall is active, occasionally fire a free grenade. What? What? While Windfall is active, occasionally fire a free grenade. Kill skill. Killing an enemy grants crossfire increased action skill duration and ordnance damage. The action skill duration restore has diminishing returns. Pressing action skill causes Cash to fire rockets for a duration that deals ordnance splash damage. Truck full of nitro. Cash deals bonus kinetic damage with ordnance and gear. Passive, 5 points. War Wagon. Hey, there's enemies called War Wagons in the game. Stole the name. Passive, 3 points. Whenever Cash deals kinetic damage to an enemy, he gains a chance to refill ammo into his guns and restore action skill duration with diminishing returns. When you're just dealing damage. Not critical, just regular damage. War Wagon might be important. Pale Rider. Passive, 3 points. Cash's action skills deals bonus kinetic damage. Nothing Beats Lead. Passive, 5 points. A portion of all elemental damage Cash deals is converted into kinetic damage. Damage converted in this way is increased. What? Why does all of his stuff sound so insane? And then the last augment for branch 2, Reckoning. Crossfire deals increased damage while Windfall is active. Press Ordnance to fire splash fire ordnance rockets at nearby enemies. If Windfall is active, double the amount of rockets Cash fires. Okay. All right, someone explain this to me. And this is a participation stream, so I would like someone to answer this. Who cooked? Someone cooked. Someone cooked here. Someone cooked here. All of these skills sound ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. This is just the first one. We still got the cards and the dice. This is just for his revolvers. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Branch 3. Mr. Pocket. Passive, 5 points. Whenever Cash gains a fortune stack, his action skill duration freezes. There are so many skills dedicated to increasing the length and duration of your action skill. Restore your action skill based on how many stacks you used up. Restore your action skill whenever you kill an enemy. Restore an action skill when you gain a fortune stack. And you gain a fortune stack when you just kill an enemy. And this will just straight up freeze the duration? Now, we don't know how long the freeze is for. It could be like 1 second, maybe 2 seconds, or even 3. But that's kind of big. An action skill that just straight up freezes your action skill duration so you can keep using your guns. Sawed Off. Augment. Crossfire. No, this is the ultimate bounty hunter cowboy Borderlands fantasy right here. This goes beyond Nisha. This goes way beyond Nisha. Sawed Off. Augment. Crossfire's dual revolvers are replaced with dual shotguns. Windfall. Your dual shotguns gained increased pellet count. Unshaken. Passive. 5 points. Cash gains increased damage from all sources for every fortune stack he loses. From Gloam till Glow. Passive. 5 points. A portion of all damage Cash is dealt from enemies is converted into Overshield. Whenever Cash loses a fortune stack, shots from his guns deal bonus damage equal to his Overshield. I have a feeling Watts for Dinner is going to be something that people actually put on Cash because it's probably going to take a lot of advantage from that. Dusty Trail. Passive. 5 points. As Cash slides, he loses fortune stacks. For every stack he loses, he gains increased gun damage, reload speed, and fire rate. I like those odds. Augment. Kill skill. Whenever Cash kills an enemy during Crossfire, enemies have a chance to drop bone dice that spawn a random Claromancy bone totem. This skill has a cooldown and only 2 bone totems may be active at a time. And this is the last one for this tree. Bleed the Bad. Passive. 1 point. Whenever Cash critically hits an enemy, he gains increased elemental effect chance, elemental effect damage, and elemental damage. Fortune skill. Whenever Cash kills an enemy with a critical hit, lob fire mortars at nearby enemies. The more fortune stacks Cash has, the greater the damage. There's so many skills just centered around, if I kill an enemy with a critical hit, or do this, or I do that, I'm just going to throw mortars at you. This is literally the equivalent of having a whole bunch of Molotov cocktails in Red Dead Redemption 2, and then just throwing them all over the place while you're still shooting your guns. And that is the bottom of the Chaos Walking Tree. I love this tree. This tree is nice. That's just one tree? There's so much crazy stuff in this. Oh my goodness, there's so much crazy stuff in this. I love it. That's Chaos Walking. Now for Luck of the Draw. This is his card tree. So, to get started, passive, 5 points. Fast Hands. Cash gains increased reload speed. Fortune stacks gain increased windfall chance. Insurance. Passive, 5 points. Cash gains increased shield capacity, shield recharge rate, and improved shield recharge delay. Whenever Cash's shields fully recharges, he gains a stack of fortune. Splash the Pot. Passive, 5 points. Cash gains increased ordnance damage. This bonus is doubled while Windfall is active. Oh, wait a minute, hold on, sorry. I did that, and I didn't even go up to Sleight of Hand. I didn't even go up to the top of here, the Luck of the Draw tree, so we can actually understand what this action skill actually is. Sorry, my bad. Sleight of Hand, Luck of the Draw skill tree. Charge skill. Cash draws a card in each hand. Pressing fire, aim throws a card to targets under his crosshairs. Each card has a random effect and behaves differently based on which one was drawn. While Windfall is active, cards have greatly increased effects. Sleight of Hand gains additional action skill duration based on additional charges, and each unused charge restores a portion of Sleight of Hand cooldown. So, we start with Fireball. Card creates a fire nova when it detonates. Windfall creates a rupture, constantly spewing fire mortars. And the other one is Magic Missile. Card splits as it travels, homing to enemies and dealing kinetic damage. Windfall causes the card to double the amount it splits, and additional cards available via augments. And it's a random card. Random. So as we get through these augments, we'll see all the ones that they have. So I already looked through, I saw Splash the Pot. Passive 5 points. Cash gains increased ordnance damage. This bonus is doubled while Windfall is active. Alchemy. Passive 5 points. Cash gains increased elemental chance. I'm honestly going to go down the path of the cards, and I'm probably going to invest in Alchemy first. Whenever Cash applies an elemental effect, he gains a stack of fortune. Yes. Go for broke. Passive 5 points. Whenever Cash would gain a fortune stack, he gains a chance to gain additional stacks. This is going to be most important. This is actually going to be the most important skill you get. Because the chance to gain even more stacks that will help you be even stronger, this is actually a necessary passive. Go for broke. Go for broke. Thunder the Table. Augment. Whenever Cash damages an enemy with an action skill, gain increased action skill cooldown rate. Adds a piercing bolt card to Cash's deck that zigzags forward. Windfall. Card shocks all nearby enemies whenever it hits an enemy. Sounds of Rain. Passive. 5 points. Fortune skill. Cash gains a chance to critically hit with guns, action skills, and ordnance. The more fortune stacks he has, the greater the chance. This is also going to be an absolutely essential perk to get. Because a chance to critically hit with guns, not just, on the head, but just anywhere with action skills and ordnance, an all-around critical hit chance skill, that's necessary. Go for broke is necessary, and Sounds of Rain is necessary. Cowboy. Augment. Whenever Cash triggers Windfall while his action skill is cooling down, automatically recharge it. Adds an acid spray card that spreads out in a fan in front of him and explodes shortly after impact. Windfall. While Windfall is active, throw additional acid spray cards, and each card creates a corrosive nova on impact. This is crazy, but also very fun. Trick Taker. Passive. 5 points. Fortune skill. Cash gains increased elemental damage. The more fortune stacks he has, the greater the bonus. Probably going to get this as well because it meshes well with Alchemy, Go for Broke, and Sounds of Rain. Late Scratch. Passive. 1 point. Whenever Cash attempts to enter Windfall and fails, he gains a stack of fortune. And then, of course, this also has Devil's Tines as well, and that gives you an additional augment slot. And that's obviously 1 point. Double Down. Passive. 5 points. Fortune skill. Cash gains a chance to deal double ordnance damage. So if you have an ordnance rocket, and it's already doing absurd amounts of damage, this makes it so that you have a chance to deal twice the amount of damage. Okay, the more fortune stacks he has, the greater the chance. And lastly, for the, base tree, Wretched Shadows. Passive. 1 point. Melee override. Throw a grasping tentacle card that attaches to an area on impact. For a duration, it constantly slows and deals kinetic lifesteal damage based on Cash's fortune stacks. So, this melee override just makes it so I throw out and this eldritch tentacle comes out and it slows enemies and also steals life from them based on my fortune stacks. Free heals? Pick a card, any card. Hey, this card's gonna heal me, also gonna slow you, and also gonna steal your life away. I like this tree. I like this. I'm really, I like cash in general, but this tree is very nice. Branch 1, High Roller. Passive, 5 points. Cash gains increased gun damage. The more action skill cooldown he has, the greater the bonus. Big Pull. Augment. Sleight of hand gains additional charges. Add a black hole card that pulls enemies along with it as it travels and deals radiation damage. Windfall, the black hole card creates a large singularity on impact. So not only does the black hole pull enemies, but it also creates a vacuum at the point of impact that will drag even more enemies into it. And the first thing that pops into my head is, this reminds me of Harlow's Chroma Accelerator, because her Chroma Accelerator, the way I have her built, it does radiation damage as it goes. Well, not really radiation damage. It does cryo damage as it goes, but it shoots out radiation rockets as it goes, as it continues on. I don't have the augment that'll make it so that enemies are dragged along with it, but this is essentially like her Chroma. This is essentially a version of her Chroma Accelerator, but it deals radiation automatically without the need of me augmenting it. And if I'm in Windfall, it creates a large singularity at the impact as well. I like that. And Take the Pot. Passive, 5 points. Fortune skill. Whenever Cash activates his action skill, restore a portion of his health. Excess healing is added to his shields and overshield. The more fortune stacks Cash has, the greater the bonus. Stack the Deck. Passive, 5 points. I like this. I like this skill tree so much. Fortune skill. Whenever Cash readies an action skill, he gains increased skill damage, fire rate, and reload speed. The more fortune stacks Cash has, the greater the bonus. So how do I say this? Legerdemain? Legerdemain. Yeah, Legerdemain. Passive, 3 points. Sounds German. My German is incredibly rusty. Please forgive me if I got that pronunciation vastly wrong. 3 points. Cash gains increased reload speed. The lower his gun's mag size, the greater the bonus. Ah, okay, so small size revolvers and shotguns is really going to benefit from this skill. Vigorish. Passive, 5 points. Fortune skill. Whenever Cash deals damage with an action skill, his guns deal bonus elemental damage of that type. The more fortune stacks Cash has, the greater the bonus. Dealer's Bluff. Passive. Whenever Cash gains a stack of fortune, restore his action skill cooldown. Hold on. Wasn't there a skill that'll just straight up give me like a whole bunch of cooldown all of a sudden? Hold on. Whenever Cash damages an enemy with an action skill, gain increased action skill cooldown rate. It wasn't that one. I think it was in the other tree. Yeah, it was in the other tree. Yeah, Dealer's Bluff. Passive, 3 points. Whenever Cash gains a stack of fortune, restore his action skill cooldown. So the Chaos Walking Tree had a lot of skills that dealt with restoring my action skill cooldown, and now we have another one right here. The Cooler. Augment. Cash doubles all windfall bonuses. Mind you, windfall bonuses are already doubling your base stuff when you have fortune stacks. So now you're going to have even more if you get this. This might actually be really necessary, because it's going to take everything that's already been doubled and then double that. So it's, instead of it going to be 2 times the amount, it's going to be 4 times the amount. Add a Freezing Shards card to Cash's deck that automatically freezes enemies on impact and deals cryo melee damage. Windfall. Whenever the Freezing Shards impact anything, they shatter into mini shards that home in on nearby enemies that have a chance to freeze them on impact. I like this so much. And that's just branch 1. Branch 2. Ace in the Hole. Passive, 5 points. Fortune skill. Cash gains increased gun damage for every stack of fortune. Yeah, that's going to be important to have. Bet on red. Augment. Fortune skill. While sleight of hand is active, Cash gains damage reduction. The more fortune stacks Cash has, the greater the bonus. Adds a vampiric touch card to Cash's deck that deals kinetic lifesteal damage, has a high critical hit chance, and deals ordnance damage. Windfall. Vampiric touch cards automatically kill all non-elite enemies and deal increased damage otherwise. If a regular enemy gets hit by that card, they automatically die. This one-shots any enemy that isn't an elite. Mind you, we pretty much can't get to the point where we can just one-shot them, but it's still cool that we have a card that just goes like, if this card hits you, you die. And it also deals increased damage to, any elites as well. Around the corner. Passive, 5 points. Fortune skill. Cash gains increased action skill cooldown rate for every stack of fortune. Hold on. Whenever Cash gains a stack of fortune, restores action skill cooldown. So, Dealer's Bluff and Around the Corner. Cash gains increased action skill cooldown rate for every stack of fortune. Whenever Cash gains a stack of fortune, restores action skill cooldown. So Dealer's Bluff and Around the Corner. Essential for this. Yeah, I'm already thinking about a build for this. I'm definitely going to get Around the Corner. House Edge. Whenever Cash enters Windfall, he only consumes half his fortune stacks. This is absolutely necessary. Not consuming all of your stacks. Not consuming all of your stacks would do wonders if you're still trying to build it up. And that's House Edge, passive, 1 point. Cash Game, passive, 5 points. All fortune skills act as if Cash has a minimum number of fortune stacks. No Limit, passive, 5 points. This is going to be necessary too. Cash gains increased max fortune stacks. Fortune stacks have decreased chances to enter Windfall. Guessing that's the Joker card of Borderlands? Pretty much. Dead Man's Hand. Augment. Cash gains increased chances to trigger Windfall. Add a Bone Shard card to Cash's deck that deals kinetic damage. Whenever it hits an enemy, it creates bone splinters around the enemy that converge in on it, dealing kinetic damage and ricochets to another enemy. Enemies damaged by Bone Shards take increased damage from all sources. Windfall. Bone Shards deal max damage and ricochets an additional time. Anti-Up, passive, 5 points. Cash gains increased gun damage and skill damage. The more full his gun's mag is, and the more fortune stacks he has, the greater the bonus. I'm really liking Dead Man's Hand here. And that's branch 2. Onwards to the last branch, and then we have the last one. Branch 3, Kill Button, passive, 5 points. Fortune skill. Cash gains increased ordnance damage. The more fortune stacks Cash has, the greater the bonus. Sweeten the Pot. Augment. Sleight of Hand gains additional charges. Add a color spray card to Cash's deck that gains a random element when thrown and causes Cash's guns to deal bonus elemental damage of that card's damage type for duration. Windfall. Cash's color spray cards deal an additional random element. So 2 elements at once with a card throw, if you manage to pull this one. Mind you, if you have all these different augments going off, you're going to have a whole bunch of cards that are just randomly triggering, and so many. See, this is the reason why I'm so glad they fixed the frame rate for the game, because having all of those augments going off all at once, those different cards and their different status effects going off, I'm glad they worked on the performance for the game. Mind you, I say this as a person who plays on console, because on console, before they fixed everything, the gameplay would actually start to lose frames the longer you played Borderlands. But now it doesn't do that, and even cutscenes are at 60 FPS now, which is what they, should be. But thinking about all the crazy stuff that's going to be happening when you get into like a full squad of Cash, and you got all these augments going, and you're just throwing cards everywhere, good. Payout, passive, 5 points. Cash's fortune skills gain increased bonuses. So this just ties into everything else. This just continues to make these skills way more busted. I can't wait to see the builds that people are going to make from this. Boom or bust. Passive, 1 point. Whenever Cash enters Windfall, spawn a free grenade on nearby enemies equal to the fortune stacks he had. Tender Hearts, passive, 5 points. Cash gains increased critical hit damage. Windfall skill. While Windfall is active, Cash gains a chance to critically hit with action skills. Card Sharp, passive, 5 points. Sleight of Hand does not consume charges for a few seconds after activating it if Windfall is active. Ooh, so some free uses if Windfall is going. Hot Streak, passive, 1 point. Whenever Cash gains a stack of fortune, the next time he damages an enemy with a gun or action skill, it automatically critically hits. This shot deals increased critical hit damage. Ooh, whenever you gain a stack of fortune, which is literally after you kill an enemy, the next time you damage an enemy, it's an automatic critical. And it deals increased critical hit damage. And then lastly, the last augment and the last thing for this entire tree is Furious Fingers. Augment. Whenever Cash activates Windfall, he gains sleight of hand charges equal to the number of fortune stacks he had. So if I can increase the max number of stacks I have, that's how many charges I can have with that, and I'm just throwing out cards for how many charges I have? Adds a ball of fire and lightning card that bounces between enemies and deals alternating shock and fire damage to enemies. Every time the card bounces, it swaps its element. Ooh, I like that. Windfall. Whenever the card bounces, it leaves behind an elemental hazard of whichever element it's currently attuned to. Honestly, the cards will tell. Honestly, I feel like his cards is probably going to be the most crazy to use. And I haven't even gotten to the dice. But I feel like his card skill tree is probably going to be the craziest because of how many different things you can trigger randomly. Okay. Yep. This is actually going to be the tree that I go down. Sleight of hand. Unfortunately, I won't be able to name unfortunately, I won't be able to name my build long enough because otherwise I would just call it, ooh, you know how long I've been waiting, but you want to know how long I've been, you know how long I've been waiting for this? I'm about to make a name for myself here. Like, I can't, there's only so much space in characters that you can put into a build name before it starts to get ridiculous. But I'm going sleight of hand when he drops next week. But that was the luck of the draw skill tree. Now for the last one. Cleromancy. Roll the bones skill tree. Charge skill. Cash rolls his bone dice to spawn a bone totem based on the resulting roll that fights with him for a duration. Whenever Cash rolls doubles, spawn an elite version of the bone totem with increased stats. During Windfall, die rolls always result in a unique roll. So we have a Tainted Draining Totem. Whenever Cash rolls a dice that isn't a unique roll, spawn a Tainted Draining Totem that deals kinetic lifesteal damage. And then Mortar Totem. Whenever Cash rolls 4s, spawn a Mortar Totem that lobs projectiles that deal fire ordnance damage in a large radius. And Angry Totem. Whenever Cash rolls 10s, spawn an Angry Totem that grants Cash increased gun damage over time. Additional totems available via augments. Let's check out the luck of the, not luck of the draw, roll the bones. Luck be a robot. Passive, 5 points. Fortune skill. Cash gains increased action skill cooldown rate. The more fortune stacks he has, the greater the bonus. So I can go, since I'm going to be going with luck of the draw, I can actually get luck be a robot. So that way I can gain increased action skill cooldown rate on top of the other ones that I'm going to be going down the tree. And since there's no capstone abilities. That's nice. Sweet roll. Let me guess. Someone stole your sweet roll? Passive, 5 points. Cash gains increased max health. Whenever he spawns a bone totem, restore a portion of his max health. excess health is added as overshield. I wonder how that's going to stack up well if you're using a Watts for dinner. Charm Bracelet, passive, 5 points. Cash gains increased skill damage. Cash gains further increased skill damage for every active... that was weird, it went all gray. Cash gains further increased skill damage for every active bone totem. O Fortuna, passive, 5 points. Fortune stacks gain increased windfall chance. Fortune skill. Cash gains increased elemental effect chance, effect damage, and effect damage. The more fortune stacks Cash has, the greater the bonus. Heavenly Sevens, augment. Cash's bone totem gains increased duration. Protector totem. Roll 7s to spawn a protector totem that grants Cash and his allies overshield when it spawns. Cash's protector totem grants him and his allies increased fire rate and reload speed based on how much shields they have. Red Moon Rising, passive, 5 points. Windfall skill. While Windfall is active, Cash deals bonus fire damage with his guns and action skills. 5 is alive, augment. Claromancy gains an additional charge. Lightning Rod totem. Roll 5s to spawn a lightning rod totem that occasionally calls down a lightning bolt that causes it to chain lightning to all nearby enemies. Whenever Cash inflicts a status effect on an enemy, lightning bolts spawn faster. See, this is the reason why making a build for all of these trees is going to be fun. Because it's not like I'm just going to make one cash build and then do nothing else with it. No, I'm going to make 2 others so I can use the other skill trees. Claromancy gains an additional... ready to roll, passive, 5 points. Windfall skill. While Windfall is active, Cash gains increased action skill cooldown rate and action skill duration. Riding High, passive. Windfall gains increased duration. And that's 5 points, passive. Bone Meal Ticket, passive, 5 points. Kill skill. Whenever Cash or one of his bone totems kills an enemy, restore action skill duration with diminishing returns in bone totem health. And then, of course, the same thing as the last 2 skill trees. Devil's Tines, passive, 1 point. Cash gains an additional augment slot. Before She Knows You're Dead, passive, 5 points. Cash gains increased... movement speed for every active bone totem. Cash deals increased skill damage based on how quickly he's moving. Luckless, passive, 1 point. Whenever Cash activates an action skill, nearby enemies near him and his bone totems become jinxed. Jinxed enemies take increased damage from all sources and deal decreased damage. And that's the first main tree. Branch 1. Can't Stop Winning. Passive, 5 points. Cash gains a chance to critically hit with guns and action skills. Whenever Cash critically hits an enemy with the guns or action skill, with guns or action skill, I think it should be with guns or an action skill, he gains a chance to enter Windfall. I think that's how it is, because saying hits an enemy with a guns or action skill. Oh no, it's a gun skill itself. With a guns or action skill, he gains a chance to enter Windfall. Sorry, I wasn't looking at that correctly. That's on me. Three's Company. Three's Company too. Come and knock at our door. We've been waiting for you. Augment. Or is that room 242? I don't know. I forget some of my older shows. Augment. Cash gains increased Windfall duration for every totem. Arcane Totem. Roll 3s to create an arcane totem that grants increased action skill damage to all nearby allies. When this totem spawns, Cash immediately gains a Claromancy charge. Turn of Fate. Passive, 5 points. Windfall skill. While Windfall is active, Cash gains lifesteal. If his health is full, he gains Overshield Steal instead. High Stakes. Passive, 5 points. Windfall skill. While Windfall is active, Cash gains increased fire rate, reload speed, and movement speed. Fortune's Favor. Passive, 3 points. Cash deals increased gun damage and skill damage. The more full his health and overshields are, the greater the bonus. This will definitely come in handy for people. This is the reason why Watts for Dinner as a shield is incredibly useful. Because not only do you get bonus, additional like 20% bonus damage, but it also allows you to have overshields, which will definitely benefit from Fortune's favor. Let It Ride, passive, 1 point. Whenever Cash loses a fortune stack, the next shot from his gun deals increased damage. Commotions 11, augment. Cash's totems deal bonus damage of his gun's current element. Effigy totem. Roll 11s to spawn an effigy totem that spawns waves of eldritch bullets that deal kinetic gun damage. Anytime a status effect is applied to an enemy, the effigy totem fires additional waves of eldritch bullets for a brief duration. The Wilds. Passive, 5 points. Windfall skill. While Windfall is active, Cash and his companions deal random bonus elemental damage. And that's just the first tree. Now for the second one. Branch 2. Potent Posse. Passive, 5 points. Fortune skill. Cash deals increased gun damage and his companions deal increased damage. The more fortune stacks Cash has, the greater the bonus. Mighty 9, augment. If Cash would enter Fight for Your Life while he has an active bone totem, instead gain a free second wind, a free Claromancy charge, and destroy a bone totem. This skill has a cooldown. And we also gain Tough Totem. Whenever Cash rolls 9s, spawn a Tough Totem that causes his guns and ordnance to also deal bonus incendiary melee damage for every enemy killed. Whenever Cash kills an enemy, restore duration to all other active totems. This is probably going to be the augment that some people go with, because having these totems out will just keep buffing him while they're active, and constantly killing enemies will just make it so that they last longer. So, longevity-wise, this seems like a good choice to have for a build. But I'm just saying. Restless Remains. Passive, 5 points. Fortune skill. Whenever one of Cash's bone totems die, it has a chance to respawn. The more fortune stacks he has, the greater the chance. So these will go hand in hand. On one hand, you can have it so that they can kind of last longer. And on the other hand, the more fortune stacks you have, the greater the chance of respawning them just in case they actually die. Kitty, it's good to see you. Glad you made it. We are on the last skill tree for Cash. He is awesome. Absolutely awesome. They cooked with him. They cooked with Cash. They absolutely cooked with him. All of his skills are just completely insane. All of them. Sorcerer. Passive. 3 points. Whenever Cash's shield breaks, create a fire nova on him, his bone totems, and nearby allies. When Cash's shield breaks, just creates a fire nova on himself, the players with you, and all of his little totems he's got with him. So you're just going to be setting everything on fire if you're in like a close proximity or wherever. Tooth and Nail. Passive, 1 point. And Sorcerer was 3 points. I think I said it already. Passive, 1 point. Cash and his companions gain increased melee damage. Whenever Cash or one of his companions deal melee damage to an enemy, he gains a chance to jinx that enemy. Serendipity. Passive, 3 points. Kill skill. Whenever Cash kills an enemy, create healing missiles centered on that enemy that home in and heal Cash. Spawn additional healing missiles for every active bone totem. Ooh. And we're getting close to the end of the second branch. Sidekick's Revenge. Passive, 5 points. Whenever Cash gains a fortune stack, he loses a portion of his health and gains that much overshield. Whenever Cash loses health, he gains increased action skill damage. This effect stacks. And then, Eights of Hell. Augment. Whenever Cash freezes an enemy, like Helheim? Whenever Cash freezes an enemy, all of his totem's duration freezes for a brief duration. For a moment there, that sentence almost locked me up because I was thinking I said duration, and then I'm saying it again. Whenever Cash freezes an enemy, all of his totem's duration freezes for a brief duration. There we go. Tainted Frozen Totem. Roll 8s to spawn a tainted frozen totem that deals cryo melee damage constantly in an area around its target with high cryo efficiency. Freezing an enemy empowers all frozen totems for a duration, granting them bonus damage based on Cash's equipped max shield capacity. The Glorious Dead. Passive, 3 points. Whenever one of Cash's allies enter Fight for Your Life or Bone Totem dies, he deals increased gun damage and skill damage. And that is the last of branch number 2. Now for the last branch, and then we will have read through everything that Cash can do. Branch 3. Accursed Bones. Also for Kitty, we'll look at the gameplay overview again, so you can see it as well. Just a little bit of a reminder of how cool he's going to be once we play. Accursed Bones. Passive, 5 points. Whenever Cash deals action skill damage to an enemy, that enemy becomes Jinx. Not a chance, it just happens. Jinxed enemies take increased damage from all sources and deal decreased damage. Cash gains lifesteal against Jinxed enemies. Dirty Dozen. Augment. Cash's minimum fortune stack count is based on how many active totems he has. Chaos Totem. Roll 12s to spawn a Chaos Totem that draws and throws cards from Cash's deck. Whenever Cash rolls his dice, the next card thrown can be any card. So, when you get this augment, that means you can get the cards from Luck of the Draw to be randomly thrown, and you're not even using that action skill. Whenever Cash rolls his dice, the next card thrown can be any card. Tormented. Passive. 5 points. Cash and his companions deal increased critical hit damage. This bonus is increased against Jinx enemies. Graveyard Shift. Passive. 5 points. Cash gains increased action skill cooldown rate for every enemy he has jinxed. Snake Eyes. Passive. 1 point. Whenever Cash shoots an enemy with a gun, fire a bone shard at all other jinxed enemies. When bone shards damage an enemy, they create bone splinters around them and converge around them, dealing kinetic damage. Enemies damaged by bone shards take increased damage from all sources. This is a skill that's pretty much prevalent in all 3 skill trees, Kitty. Easy Sixes. Augment. Whenever an enemy with a tainted bone totem attached to it dies, that bone totem splits into 2 mini bone totems. Cash may only have a single set of mini bone totems active at a time. Tainted Flame Totem. Roll 6s to spawn a tainted flame totem that follows enemies and periodically explodes. This is literally like Knuckles' APR from Hunter x Hunter. But instead of accruing interest, it literally just periodically explodes, dealing incendiary ordnance damage to nearby enemies. The higher Cash's fire rate, the more often it explodes. So if you have a high fire rate, this thing is going to be exploding all the time. Okay. Call. Passive. 1 point. Whenever Cash activates an action skill, he and his bone totems automatically critically hit jinxed enemies. And that is the end of all the skills of Cash. That is all the skills of Cash, ladies and gentlemen. And mind you, I didn't know, I'm pretty sure I knew this wasn't going to carry on as long as it did, but Cash's skill tree is by far the absolute most insane. See, with Vex, you have these different skills such as bleeding effects and status effects, and being able to shift trouble around. She has like a cat that can attack alongside her. I'm still working on that particular build, but she can change the element of her of trouble based on the element of her active gun. There's so many perks with that. You got Harlow with all the science and space related capabilities, some of which I haven't even really tried because I've only been mainly using the Chroma accelerator. Haven't been using the ability for her to just slam people around or even throw out the little dome that can just buff people. I haven't even messed with that. Amon with his hammer, his whip, and his floating melee weapon drones. Rafa with his cannons, his knives, and his Apophis lance. All of that. But Cash's skills are Cash has some incredibly insane and varied skills. Cause look here, Kitty. So I'm gonna go down the card route, and let's look through all the different things he can do. So for starters, let me go to sleight of hand. He has a magic missile. Card splits as it travels, homing to enemies and dealing kinetic damage. Windfall causes the card to double the amount it splits, so 4 magic missiles at once if I'm in Windfall. Then you have Fireball that creates a fire nova when it detonates. And then Windfall creates a rupture, constantly spewing fire mortars after it hits an impact. Then, and mind you, they are random. The cards he throws out are random with random effects on it. So here's all the ones, and all the other thing about Cash, Kitty, is the fact that he doesn't have any capstone abilities, but he has the ability to have more augments. He can hold more augments than any other Vault Hunter in the game. So that means I can have any number of cards going out because here's the additional ones. Thunder the Table adds a piercing bolt card to Cash's deck that zigzags forward. Card shocks all nearby enemies whenever it hits an enemy. Then we have Cowboy that creates an acid spray cloud that spreads out in a fan and then explodes afterwards. And then Windfall makes it so it throws an additional card, and each card creates a corrosive nova on impact. Then we have Big Paul, not Big Paul. We have Big Pull, which basically creates a black hole that pulls enemies and also deals radiation damage. Windfall making it so that it creates a singularity on impact. So it's dragging enemies and irradiating them. And then once it impacts, it creates a singularity that draws even more enemies into them. Then we have the Cooler, where not only is this an augment I am definitely going to get because it doubles all Windfall bonuses, which means that any bonuses I just said, this specific augment doubles that even further. And it creates a Freezing Shards card to automatically freeze enemies on impact and deals cryo melee damage. And then Windfall, whenever the Freezing Shards impact anything, they shatter into mini shards that home in on nearby enemies that have a chance to freeze them on impact. Then you have Bet on Red, which basically adds a Vampiric Touch card, where if it hits an enemy, it steals the life from them and deals ordnance damage as well. And the windfall of this is that it one-shots regular enemies. It just kills them instantly. You got shields, you got overshields, you got armor. Sorry, dead. Only the elite and bigger enemies are the ones that just get increased damage done to them. But everything else, if I'm in Windfall and I throw this card out, it automatically kills enemies. Automatically kills like the lessers. Just one shot. Even if your guns aren't killing them, this card will one shot them. It's ridiculous. Then we have Dead Man's Hand. Adds a Bone Shard card to Cash's deck that deals kinetic damage whenever it hits an enemy. It creates bone splinters around the enemy that converge on it, dealing kinetic damage and ricochets to another enemy. Enemies damaged by bone shards take increased damage from all sources. And in Windfall, it deals max damage and ricochets an additional time. Then we have Sweeten the Pot. Adds a color spray that just gains a random element when thrown and causes my guns to deal bonus elemental damage of that card's damage type for a duration. And Windfall, Cash's color spray card deals an additional random element. So if it deals one regularly with fortune, and mind you, fortune stacks help make these skills even more powerful. So in Windfall, I'm dealing 2 elements at once. And then you also have to think of the fact that I'm throwing random cards out, and those cards have their own elements as well. So if I have all these augments, and mind you, I can't just have every single one because there's only so many augment slots I can get my hands on. I'm going to have 3 augments going at, 3 augments going on at once, meaning that I'll have 3 different skills. And the ones I want to have, where is it? Is the Cooler, because it doubles all Windfall bonuses. And there was another one. Furious Fingers is one I wanted. Sweeten the Pot looks like it'll be very fun. However, I kind of want to get Big Pull, because having a card that just turns into like a black hole that can drag enemies with you. That just seems so tantalizing. So yeah, I'm going down the Luck of the Draw tree. Mind you, his Chaos Walking tree is literally, well, you know what? Let's all look at the trailer again so that we can all get, so that Kitty can join us in the mesmerizement of just how sick Cash is about to be. Also, his voice is perfect.
Nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. The game is not over. It has only just begun. Good luck dodging this! I do my best work in the space between hope, luck, and talent. Surrender, interloper! Has something up your sleeve? I certainly do. Big money! Got something for you. Almost feel bad. Almost. Steeping with power. Just die. You are out of luck, my friend.
This is what I would call an absolute cinema character. So incredibly cool. Oh my goodness, so incredibly cool. Ah! This is Cash, everyone. He's so cool. He's so cool. And he comes out next week. Yeah, that's good. Kitty, be sure to watch the beginning part of it a little bit later if you ever find time, so that way you can be, caught up with everything that's going on with Cash and just see my complete amazement of him. But yeah, this has essentially been my breakdown of Cash. Gonna main on only handgun main, so you're gonna go Crossfire then. You're going to go Crossfire and make sure that you only use, like, Jacob's guns. Because they got 7th Sense. 7th Sense with Cash is going to be very fun to use. Because the 7th Sense is already a phenomenal Jacob's pistol. Along with the Shakalashka. Shakalaska? I can't remember. What is the name? What is the name of this gun? Hold on. Let me look this up. Shalashaska. Yeah, that's what it's called. Shalashaska. The Shalashaska is a new weapon that came from the Legend of the Stone Demon bounty pack. That's also a very good weapon as well. There's actually a lot of good Jacob's guns. He sounds like a Jamaican cowboy. I wouldn't call him a Jamaican cowboy, but I would call him like a. I feel like the best comparison I could have is if cowboy comes to mind, but he's a cowboy from the bayou. That's what comes to my mind. Also, let me see here. Do I have everything right over here? Nope, I don't, because I am still recording my reactions for the One Piece Netflix series. Sorry about that. There we go. All right. You beat me to the cards? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't beat you to the cards because if you want to go down that tree, you're more than free to. Just because we talk about the ones we don't want to use doesn't mean you can't use it as well. But I am excited though. Ooh, I am excited. This was really a good showcase. Hold on, let me see if there's any new news. I'm still keeping an eye out for a Control Resonance release date because I do intend to play that. But let me see. Oh, cool! We completed the community challenge for Luck Be a Legendary. So, collectively, loot 1.5 million legendaries to earn the Luck of the Kyrish skin. Luck of the Kyrish skin. Usable by all 4 Vault Hunters. I am definitely going to do that. Because we beat the challenge by looting 36. Okay, so the goal was 1.5 million legendaries. In the time since this challenge started, we've all collectively looted 36,105,752 legendaries in this weekend. But yeah. Hybrid, don't feel like, hey, if I'm going one skill tree route, you don't have to go that way, so don't even worry about it. If you want to go that way, then by all means, please do. I'm just looking to see if there's any new news about Cash that I need to learn about. Like, if I go to news, gameplay overview, and we've unlocked a brand new skin. Okay, that's good. So yeah, let's see. Oh, new blog posts. New blog posts. Okay. We got some juice. We got some actual juice. We got some actual juice on the design philosophy that went into building Cash. So before I end this session, let's see how creating him came to be. Thank you, PlayStation Blog. Story Pack 1, Mad Alley and the Vault of the Darned also brings new missions, map zones, loot, bosses, and more. Feeling lucky. Hi, everyone. I'm Tommy Westerman, senior character designer on Borderlands 4, and I feel like the character designs have all been peak. Today, I'm thrilled to share insights into the making of Cash the Rogue, the new playable Vault Hunter coming to Borderlands 4 as part of Story Pack 1. I've been a character designer at Gearbox since Borderlands the pre-sequel, where together with the team I designed Claptrap as the playable Frag Trap class. So the person who helped design the most random character with the most random subroutines in the pre-sequel also had a hand in Cash. That makes perfect sense. The person who did Claptrap, because there were so many comparisons that I was bringing to Claptrap and Frag Trap with his subroutines. When I heard about, like, him having random chance and whatnot, now I know that the person who helped design him is the one who pretty much created him. I designed Claptrap, together with the team, I designed Claptrap as the playable Frag Trap class, as well as Jack the Doppelganger, aka Timothy, and Aurelia the Baroness. In Borderlands 3, the team and I designed Damar the Siren and Zane the Operative, followed by the Clawbringer and Spellshot classes for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. That finally brings us to Borderlands 4, where the team and I designed Rafa the Exo Soldier, Harlow the Gravitar, and now Cash the Rogue. When designing Cash's unique action skills, augments, and passives, the team and I really got to lean into the power fantasy of going for broke as a devil-may-care gambler, bending luck in your favor to overcome any odds. Ever since we designed Claptrap the Frag Trap over a decade ago was the pre-sequel, I've had ideas in my head of things I wanted to fix, change, or tweak. With Cash the Rogue, I was excited for the opportunity to work with the team on another character class that has some purposefully unpredictable playstyles. Cash's skills range from not very random to absolutely random, but what's key is that you're always able to influence that randomness, preserving the thrill of relying on luck while ensuring it's on your side. These images, look at these images for him. Look at this detail. He looks awesome! Beating the odds. When it comes to Cash's backstory, he's a former casino bot with a new lease on life. After a long streak of gaming the solar system's casinos and battlefields with statistical insights, he developed a taste for the unpredictable after winning the magical deck of Kanansi in a high-stakes game. Okay, so I wonder if the deck is talking to him, because in one section he says, like, another realm conquered Kanansi. So is he speaking to his cards? Are his cards speaking to him? And also, what did this man mean by another realm conquered? Now that he's seeking out more lucrative, dangerous risks, a career in vault hunting is the perfect way to bet on himself in the biggest way possible. This might be the one vault hunter in vault hunter history that manages to get through every situation with just pure luck. Lore-wise, luck truly is on his side. Mind you, plot armor is on a lot of characters' sides in Borderlands, but I feel like Cash is the only one where luck is truly on his side. It is literally his entire being. We know that fans love robot vault hunters like pre-sequels Claptrap and Borderlands 3's Flak the Beastmaster, so we were eager to bring Cash to Borderlands 4. When thinking up a Vault Hunter's origins, our first pillar is to simply make an interesting character, whether they're flesh and blood or circuits and bolts. We started with the idea of a casino bot who's obsessed with numbers and probability, but the exciting hook for us was Cash's desire to seek out eldritch trinkets that completely upend mathematical chances. As for what Cash adds thematically to Borderlands Ensemble, most people picture classic rogues as sneak-attacking thieves, but there's also the gambler who relies on luck and wit. We want Cash to feel like that latter, from that latter rare archetype. Someone who doesn't pick pockets, but steals your money anyway because he knows how to manipulate the odds. Heart of the cards! And dice and guns. Cash's penchant for unpredictability is epitomized by his action skills and skill trees. Giving Cash dice, Claromancy action skill, Roll of the Bones skill tree, and a deck of cards, Sleight of Hand action skill, Luck of the Draw skill tree, seemed perfect for players who love randomness, while his dual revolvers, Crossfire, Chaos Walking skill tree, felt right for the promise of a Wild West-type gambler. No matter the outcome, Cash's action skills are always powerful, but with luck you can trigger some super powerful effects. His skill trees are unique in that they don't feature any capstones, but all three of his trees offer a skill that grants an additional augment slot. By building across all three skill trees, you can give Cash's up to 4 augments total. Managing how many augments you equip gives you more control over the degree of randomness for his action skills. One fun thing we always try to do with Borderlands DLC characters is break some rules. Borderlands 2's Gage introduced stacks, and Krieg turned the entire idea of first-person shooter combat, FPS combat, on its head. Pre-sequel's Aurelia begged to be played in co-op. After Claptrap, even though some of us really liked him, we all kind of looked at each other and said, well, let's never do that again. Cash broke that rule, and I love him for that. You'll be able to play as Cash the Rogue across all of Borderlands 4's story and zones by owning Story Pack 1, which is included in Borderlands 4 Super Deluxe Edition, which is what I have. Can't wait to see how you come up with builds that make the most of his chance-based abilities, and remember, there's no telling what the next card draw or dice roll will bring. And that is pretty much the blog post on the creation process for cash. And it's sick. I love it. I love it. Everything about Cash is amazing. I love everything about his skills, everything that's going everything about his skills, everything about his whole aesthetic, his backstory, and mind you, I can't wait to hear some echo logs if we can get some echo logs in the game about his life and find out more about him. But yeah, Cash is going to be my new main, which is why I'm trying to work on Amon, get him maxed out, then work on Rafa and try to get him maxed out. I don't know if I'll get Rafa maxed out before the 26th, but I will be playing as Cash for quite a while. But the thing is, I'll probably wait until I max out both Amon and Rafa so that the only obligation I have is to playing as Cash. I don't want any loose ends. None. I don't want any loose ends. So Amon and Rafa, they gotta go. So the sooner I get them taken care of, the more time I can spend with Cash. Might even do a little mini series concerning Cash as well if I have time, because I would love to see how I can level him up and how I can build him as I move throughout the main story. So that should be fun. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's essentially what I wanted to bring to you guys today. I still got to work on some chapters for the Patreon, and I got to work on recording the rest of the One Piece Netflix episodes and getting the ones that I already have up on Patreon out to you guys on YouTube after I edit them, of course, because, you know, copyright be finicky sometimes. But that was me going over everything about Cash, and I have to say, he looks fantastic. Gameplay-wise, yes. Skill-wise, yes. I cannot wait to play Cash. So, to everyone here, Anime Gamer, Hybrid, Kitty, if she doesn't make it back in time... this has pretty much just been my overall reaction to looking through all of Cash's skills, and once again, I have to say that they absolutely cooked with him. It was absolutely fantastic. Let me just make sure that I'm not missing anything else. Let me see. Let me just leave a comment here on the post. Yeah, they absolutely cooked with him. That is what I call a good character trailer. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. That was fantastic. That was amazing. It just makes me happy that he's coming next week. It's not like, oh, he's been pushed back because we need to tweak him a little bit. No, it's nah, he's coming out next week. Literally next week on my dad's birthday. Mind you, my birthday's on Monday, but my dad's birthday, yeah, that's when he comes out, which means that I probably won't play the first story pack DLC until Friday, simply because I mean, I'll be spending time with my dad and hopefully my grandfather as well, because his birthday, we all collaborate together, all three of us. We all collaborate so that we can go out to eat. So, yeah. But, yeah. That's all I got, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go ahead and take care of all the rest of the stuff that I got to do for today. It's probably going to be a while before I can actually, sit down and play Neo 3 or get back on Borderlands 4, because I got a lot of things to do today. And, well, since there's no tornado going through my neighborhood, because people were kind of concerned about that, that means that I am free to go ahead and continue on, since we don't have that coarse weather coming through here, at least in my neck of the woods anyway. So yeah, I'm good. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to today's breakdown of Cash the Casino Bot. There will be a series of me messing with Cash and playing Cash, and of course the Story Pack DLC as well. So I can't wait to see you guys as we mess with that, because it is going to be fun. And Gearbox, they definitely cooked with this entire. I'm saying it again, they cooked with him. His entire skill tree is so cool. Ooh, I just realized I just realized, because I was looking at a little bit of a playback, I just realized that I can.
It has only just begun.
Ah, okay. Nice. I was getting worried, but no, 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 no. I'll be able to create some art that will allow me to have like a thumbnail ready for whenever I'm playing as Cash. Okay, 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 okay. I'm just speaking out loud now. I'm just speaking out loud now. Please ignore me. But I'm done, ladies and gentlemen. This has been my breakdown and deep dive into Cash the Casino Bot, the upcoming DLC Vault Hunter for Borderlands 4. All I can say to everyone here is, hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Even check out the membership and Patreon because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. And because I know you're coming back anyway. Have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!